The key to losing stubborn belly fat is to focus on, more water and less alcohol, more walking and less sitting, more patience and less entitlement, more lifting and less HIIT cardio, more reading and less social media, more fruits and vegetables and less processed foods, more protein and less eating out, more water and less alcohol. Often, when we are dehydrated, it is a similar sensation to hunger. Therefore, if somebody is dehydrated, it can be very tough and challenging to know whether or not you're actually hungry or if you're just dehydrated. So making that effort to actually prioritize hydration is going to allow you to ensure that you are properly hydrated and you're not confusing that with hunger. Less alcohol, well, alcohol actually increases dehydration. So if you find that during the summer months right now, you're drinking quite a bit and your hunger is going up, alcohol actually has been shown to stimulate our hunger, making us feel even more hungry. No wonder why it has been tough and challenging to actually maintain a calorie deficit. If our alcohol consumption is drastically going up and our water consumption is drastically going down, it can be very tough to actually ensure that you're managing your hunger signals accordingly. More walking and less sitting. Now, don't let the irony of me sitting confuse you here. Our society is evolving to the point where we don't have to do a whole heck of a lot anymore. We're not required to move a whole heck of a lot. You know, we can have groceries delivered to our house in seconds, where our sedentary levels are increasing dramatically. So the total daily energy expenditure, this is how our body burns calories throughout the day. First, we have our RMR, our resting metabolic rate. We don't have to do a whole heck of a lot for that, but our body is gonna burn approximately 60 to 70% just from your normal bodily functions. Resting, sleeping, your body knows what it needs to do, and it's gonna burn about 60 to 75%. Next, we have our exercise activity. Most people are actually pretty shocked at this. So if you spend like around 1 hour in the gym, that's only gonna eat up maybe about 5% of your total daily energy expenditure. Next, we have the thermic effect of food. Basically, this just means the amount of calories that your body has to burn in order to absorb and digest specific foods. Your body burns calories during that process, and it's roughly gonna burn around 10% a day. Last, we have our NEAT. This stands for your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. That's gonna be things like twitching, flinching, blinking, fidgeting, things that you aren't intentionally doing. And this varies quite dramatically from person to person, where roughly it's gonna burn up to 15%, maybe all the way up to 50%, depending on the individual. So as you can see here, the exercise that you aren't intentionally doing has a higher energy expenditure in comparison to your intentional exercise. So when you go to the gym for an hour, you're lifting weights, you're gonna be burning much more throughout the day from your NEAT. So I know a lot of people are gonna get their nails in a twist with this, but you can increase your NEAT. Yes, of course, it is non-intentional exercise. So even me right now, just talking with my hands, I'm not doing that because I'm trying to intentionally burn more calories. That's just how I am. I have a lot of energy and I talk with my hands, and that is non-intentional exercise. I am burning calories from that. That is a form of NEAT. Other ways for you to actually increase your NEAT is something as simple as parking further away, taking the stairs instead of the elevator. So when I say to focus on walking more and less sitting, that is going to contribute quite a bit to increasing your energy expenditure when it comes to your NEAT. More patience and less entitlement. You know, we are living in a world right now where there is an app for everything. Everything is so instantaneous to the point where I really think that it has caused us to be a very impatient society, almost to the point where we are entitled to have something because we can have something at the tap of a finger. There's an app for everything. The only thing there isn't an app for is getting rid of stubborn belly fat. And because we aren't exposed to enough situations that force us to be patient, it has caused us to feel much more entitled. And that really makes us a very impatient society. So focusing more on understanding that just because you want to lose belly fat, that in no way means that you are entitled to it. It takes work, it takes effort, and it takes time. So focusing more on being patient and trying to just embrace the journey is half of the battle. Understanding that if you take a second here and ask yourself, how long have I spent getting myself to the place where I don't want to be? You know, the habits that you've implemented in your life, how long have you been implementing them? Has it been 3 months? Has it been 3 years? Has it been 5 years? Whatever the answer is for you, how can we expect the results that we are looking for to happen within a matter of days if it's accumulated over several years to get us to the point where we don't want to be? We have to be patient along the way and remember that we aren't entitled to those results. So let that humble you and focus on taking a step back and working hard and being patient. More lifting and less cardio. You may be confused by that one, especially when I just previously told you to do more walking and less sitting. When I say less cardio, I'm not saying to stop doing cardio, but we are prioritizing it over lifting way too much. The best way to look at it is as an investment. When it comes to cardio, that is a minimum wage job. Your body needs to do more hours in order for you to earn more money, whereas lifting weights is an investment into the stock market. You put an investment into the stock market, and due to compound interest, eventually you start to earn more money and you don't have to work more hours in order to earn more money. So breaking that down here, when it comes to cardio, your body starts to burn less calories the better you get at a given movement pattern. Say somebody is a beginner at swimming. They suck at swimming. Their front stroke is horrible. When that happens, you're burning more energy in order to learn a new movement pattern. As you get better and your body starts to adapt and your movement patterns start to improve, your body increases its efficiency. As efficiency goes up, your body is going to preserve energy so that way you can sustain your endurance to be a better performer, a better athlete at swimming. When that happens, you're burning less calories. So a professional swimmer is going to burn way less calories in comparison to a beginner. And that's because of adaptation. Their body has gotten better at the movement pattern, and the adaptation that occurs is that your body is going to burn less calories so it can focus on prioritizing performance. And that right there is just like when it comes to wanting to make more money at a minimum wage job. If you want to make more of it, you have to work more hours. Eventually, we all run out of time. If we want to burn more calories from running, we have to increase the amount that we are doing. At the end of the day, we only have so much time in a day, so there is a law of diminishing return if you're trying to focus on energy expenditure strictly from cardio. Whereas when it comes to lifting weights, your body as well too gets better at a movement pattern. But due to the anaerobic nature of lifting weights, the adaptation that occurs there is increase in muscle tissue. So your body is doing like a body weight squat. Eventually you're going to get more efficient with a body weight squat, and your body is going to build more muscle. The more muscle that you have on your frame, the more calories you burn after a workout. Your body is still burning calories without you having to even do anything. Just like when you put money into the stock market, compound interest does its thing. You don't have to work extra hours, yet your investment is starting to make money for you. See this right here? This is called a book, not something that many people see anymore. More reading and less social media. How the heck is this gonna help you burn more stubborn belly fat? Doom scrolling on Instagram is causing nothing but insecurity. It is increasing one's comparison to what is often considered to be an unrealistic expectation. Unfortunately, social media is nothing but a highlight reel. People are going to spend hours taking the perfect photo. There are tons of Photoshop tools now, and it's very unfortunate to see the amount of Photoshopping that does occur on social media. So doom scrolling on social media right now is doing nothing when it comes to you wanting to achieve your body composition related results. Take the time to focus on reading some personal development books. I have found this to be the best way for me to develop self-awareness and gain perspective of what I want with my goals. And by increasing the skill set of being more self-aware, it allows me to catch myself in those moments of weakness, because I'm human too. I have definitely got caught in the comparison game on social media, and it holds you back. It makes you feel insignificant. It makes you feel like everything that you've been doing is for nothing, or it's not enough and it's not working. It makes you question everything. That's not to say that some people can't use the comparison game as a motivator, as an inspiration for them to just be better. And that's okay. If that works for you, great. Keep doing your thing. But for the majority of people, it just makes you feel like shit. Pick up a book, go focus on some personal development, get introspective with yourself, focus on your own personal development, and I promise you, you're gonna compare your results to no one other than who you once were, and that's the only comparison that ever matters. More fruits and vegetables and less processed food. Now, from a health perspective, there's nothing wrong with consuming processed food. The issue with it is that often a lot of items on our shelf at the grocery store are very high in calories and very low in nutrients. When we don't have a whole heck of a lot of micronutrients in our foods, it's very tough and challenging for us to feel nice and full, energized, and satiated. If we aren't feeling full, energized, and satiated, that is going to impact other areas of our life. It's going to increase inflammation, it's going to affect our sleep quality, it's going to impair our training, and it's going to increase the likelihood of over-consuming calories. Where if we prioritize having much more fruits and vegetables, increase the amount of fibrous foods that we are consuming as well, not only is it going to help you feel much more energized, it's going to keep you feeling nice and full and satiated, reducing that risk of over-consuming calories. More protein and less eating out. Very similar to what we have seen with eating processed foods. A lot of the meals when we are eating out are very high in calories, not very high in nutrients. Those meals have been designed to get you to eat. They are super hyper palatable to the point where it's very easy to overconsume. Quite often, a lot of those meals are very low in protein, so it's very easy to overconsume calories, which of course makes it very tough and challenging to lose that stubborn belly fat that one is after. So if we focus on eating more protein, let's go back to our total daily energy expenditure. Remember how we talked about the thermic effect of food? That's the calories that you burn during the digestion process of consumption. Well, we're gonna break that down just a little bit further here. Thermic effect of food showcases that, where are we? Is going to showcase around 10%. That's not going to be equal depending on the macronutrient breakdown. The amount that you burn for a given macronutrient is going to be different. When people say that you just eat less calories, that's what's going to allow you to lose weight, yes and no. Being in a deficit is important, but it's not that simple. So when it comes to the thermic effect of food here, when we look at it, there's a breakdown for different macronutrients. So for our fats, it's actually 3%, roughly 3%. Carbohydrates, it's 10%. Protein, a whopping 20%. So that means that if you consume the same amount of calories for a given person and that person has a low protein diet and the same amount of calories for another person and they have a high protein diet, the person consuming more protein is going to burn more calories in comparison to the person consuming low amounts of protein. So by not having to cut your calories and slash your calories and instead focus on having a higher protein amount, you're going to naturally burn more calories due to the digestion process of it. So prioritizing having more protein in your diet is often the missing component that a lot of people don't realize when they feel like they're just spinning their wheels and they're trying to lose belly fat and they're just not getting there. Often it's not about cutting your calories and doing more cardio. Often it's about increasing your calories by simply having more protein. I know that doesn't directly answer the question how one can lose stubborn belly fat. It is important to understand that the best way to target stubborn belly fat is to focus on being in a calorie deficit over an extended period of time. Your body needs less calories than what it is consuming in order to effectively lose weight. That fat loss distribution we don't unfortunately get to decide where that comes from. We can't specifically target a given area. So the best way to allow you to target your belly area is to focus on being in a calorie deficit over an extended period of time and focus on prioritizing fat loss. Mastering these items in the more column is what's going to allow you to effectively sustain a calorie deficit over an extended period of time so you can eventually lose stubborn belly fat. Now, I'm not saying that you can't do anything in the less column, but if you find that you are doing things in the less column more than the more column, it is time to reevaluate what the heck you are doing and ask yourself, is fitness, health, or body composition changes really your goals? And if they are, start taking the steps needed and just take some pride in mastering these fundamentals. Because if you do, those changes that you're hoping for, those changes that you feel like you have been spinning your wheels for months on end, that stubborn belly fat that you are trying to get rid of, that becomes the byproduct.